there was no, there was not, it wasn't a copycat crime. And it just kind of came out of nowhere. And I kind of think that, the Lane Bryant massacre was somewhat like that, it's atypical, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
There is an alternative theory in that case, though.
Oh, please.
That some people think that she was covering for her father. I don't necessarily buy that because I think she would have come out and said it by now.
That is now we're talking in the
San Diego
70s.
case.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
That is really bizarre. Wow.
Yeah, that he actually did it and she covered for him. But there's a whole documentary that's about this that I saw on Prime that they talked about. It's like an independently made documentary, and they talked about her case.
That is fascinating. You wouldn't happen to know the title of it, would you?
No, but I'll look it up for you.
Okay, thanks. Because that is.
I think it actually might be just called "I Don't Like Mondays."
Okay, it would seem so hard to pull that off. To cover that up. I mean, people would seem to, but I don't know. I won't discount it until I've at least heard something about it. Wow, that is really wild.
Yeah, it's definitely bizarre. In fact, whenever I was listening to your Lane Bryant episode, I actually thought about that too, because that's the only one that I can think of that was like actually perpetrated by a female.
There is one other that comes to mind, and that was, I believe, in the 80s. When the phrase "going postal" became a thing,
right? Because
there were several workplace shootings by postal workers. One was by a woman. I don't have a name on that, but it's really super rare. But it does happen, and
yes,
when it hangs there unsolved for this long, and there's a reward. There's the police haven't blown this off. That's the biggest crime that ever happened in that municipality. And they've really, tried to solve it. But if you're only looking over here, you're not going to see what's over there,
Looking in the wrong place, right?
Yes, from day one.
The person that survived, they were the ones that did the composite sketch.
Yes.
And has anybody ever asked them whether they thought it was a male or female?
That I don't know. I truly do not know. I mentioned this idea on Reddit, and I won't say I was driven off, but it wasn't as well received as I would have liked. There wasn't a lot of people weren't hearing that, so I don't know whether that's ever been questioned.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It might be something that never really gets solved.
And that's very true too. Other than a deathbed confession, I just don't see that one getting solved anytime soon. Or perhaps somebody who's her longtime partner turns her in, maybe after she's died or something. I could see that as being a solution, but not much else. I don't see, crack police work suddenly breaking this wide open. Not after this long. I just
because it was 2008. Yeah.
Which is a long time to have gotten away with something that serious. I still, it's a shocking crime. And apparently, in any sane way, motiveless. There's not. There's not some big till you're going to get at a clothing store early in the morning. That's just not going to happen like that.
Yeah. Well, Vincent, this has been very interesting. I'm glad to have had you on the show. We're going to continue on the Patreon side, though, and we're going to talk about the Necedah, Wisconsin Marian apparition and a couple other things. But tell people where they can find your podcast. The weird part.
Hey, first of all, thanks for having me. I've had a great time here, guys.
Absolutely. Hey, thanks for coming on.
I can be found on Facebook. My podcast, The Weird Part with Vincent Treewell, can be found wherever you find podcasts. And I have a less organized than it should be, but still effective website at vincenttreewell.wordpress.com. That's probably the easiest ways. I am also on Patreon. I am not currently charging people, but that's probably going to change in a little while if I can get a little more productive here. Okay. But yes, that's where you can find me.
All right. Well, excellent. And guys, of course, you can find us, conspirinormal.com. And we have our Patreon, which Sergio can tell you how to find that.
You can find that at patreon.com/conspirinormal.
And we noticed that we do have people dissing our Patreon. Still have not figured out why this is happening, but certain people have been just like interrupting our show and talking bad about us. And I've complained to our hosting platform, but so far nothing's been done. So I really don't know what's going on, but we're trying to get to the bottom of that. But if you want to join, we've got the $5, $10, and the $20 level. So, and don't listen to those guys that are trying to tell us that we're evil and all that stuff, right?
Right.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Next week, we're going to be doing Paranoid Styles. And I want to thank Vincent Treewell for being on the show tonight. And we'll see you next time on Conspirinormal.
If you would like to help the show, please consider becoming a Patreon at www.patreon.com/conspirinormal or leave a one-time donation at conspirinormal.com. And please check out our YouTube channel, Conspirinormal Podcast.
You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, but when we just come out and say it, it feels like it falls a bit flat. So we're going to sing it.
We're singing words now.
We'll even sing the business part.
Save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive.
Now that's a commercial you'll remember, even if you don't remember the bundle and save with Progressive part.
We're singing a commercial.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discount not available in all states or situations.
This is the end of the jingle. A jingle about insurance.
I met Chris, it was actually through a phone call, and he was talking to me about his landscaping company, and he was looking to get some financing to buy a truck, a trailer, and some heavy equipment. What I like about Numerica is when it comes to decision making, it's right down the hall from my office. And we're able to meet his needs within a month. It feels great to see a business expand.
Numerica is federally insured by NCUA. All loans subject to approval.